Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Sharon Let's Live with Marlene Dillon, Empowerment Specialist. So I had the most awesome and empowering time yesterday on the 4th of July, and I wanted to share that story with you. So I'm about to share the recording that I did late last night, which was technically early this morning. Man, today was phenomenal. There were pivots and moments of, oh shit, this ain't gonna work out, but my internal messaging was different this time. It was, okay, maybe something else can work out. It was just more positive. It was less like, oh God, everything's ruined. It was more like, hopefully everything works out a different way. We'll figure this out. But some of the old was still in there, the panic. We go to see the fireworks every year at this special place. The first year we found it on accident. It was, we used to watch fireworks at this one spot. It was just our thing. Just me being a single mom trying to figure it out. There was a Walmart, like where it was positioned, it was off of a major like highway. So it was a lot of wide open space around it. So we would go to that Walmart and I would buy snacks at a Walmart, and then my daughter had her little fold-up chair and I had my fold-up chair, and we would sit in the parking lot at Walmart and watch the fireworks. So we could see fireworks like from every direction from where we were. And we would do it every year. And one year we went out and to do our fireworks thing. And when I was driving, we just kept seeing more fireworks like coming from this other direction, like far over, but they looked like they were really great fireworks. So that year I decided, instead of pulling over into the Walmart parking lot and doing our usual thing, that I would drive around the corner to see where these fireworks were, because they were so huge that I could just basically follow them by looking up at the sky. So as we kept driving, eventually we ended up in a line of cars. And they were like, you going to the fireworks show? You know, parking's over here. So I was just like, yeah, that's what we're doing. And we followed along in line, and then ended up parking and following the people as they got out of the cars with their like blankets and lawn chairs and stuff. And we followed them until we ended up like in front of this huge outdoor stage. They had like a full orchestra, and they were sending up fireworks off of the off the water. And it was like the most beautiful, blissful spot. Everybody was just happy and peaceful and, you know, just spending time with their families. And it was a beautiful day, and it was just amazing. It was bliss. So from that point forward, every year we went to that spot. So I took it for granted that they would have fireworks today because they have them there every year. So a friend of my daughter's was, you know, had made plans to hang out with us because he didn't have plans for the 4th. So we have these plans, and I'm just like so focused on like, okay, I need to get snacks and things ready. Then I need to, you know, make sure that my daughter's situated for the day, that she has the things that she needs, you know, like lunch, snack, you know, that type of thing. And then I needed to get my podcast done for the day and get it edited. So I guess that's technically yesterday morning, because it's now the 5th, but I haven't been to bed yet, so it doesn't count. In my mind, it's still the same day. So anyway, so he decides he's going to come with us, which is fine and fun. So I'm like, you know what? Let me double check. You know, I don't know, like something just said double check. So I go on the website, I go online, I look for the place where we go to the fireworks, and I'm seeing posts about that the fireworks were yesterday, as in the 3rd, not the 4th. They have them on the 4th every single year. No matter what day of the week the 4th falls on, they have them on the 4th. So I'm like, you know, hopefully it's a typo. Maybe it's a typo. I'm like looking through all these different websites, and website after website saying that it was on the 3rd. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to check one more place. So I checked their Facebook page, and they're like, I hope you all had a great time yesterday. I'm like, God dang it. So I was ready to panic, but then I was like, okay, my daughter is going to be upset, especially now that she's already made plans. She's invited her friend, and now we don't have plans. So I want to tell her, but it will probably go over better if I find another event for us to go to today, because somebody's doing fireworks somewhere. So like, I'm kind of split between the two, and then I'm just like, oh my God. So I start looking and I can't really find anything, and I'm just like, oh my God. So part of me is trying to be optimistic and like doing all like, if I just keep looking, we could find something. Part of me is just like, we could just like pull up anywhere and still see fireworks, because there's fireworks going on, all like, backyard fireworks and all kinds of things. So I'm like, we could always just drive through some neighborhood and just park. Oh, what never crossed my mind was that we could go back to the original spot at Walmart and see plenty of fireworks. But what I ended up doing instead was, I'm just going to hope for the best and tell her, and then get her input on what to do as far as, the fireworks thing. So I go with my sad face and I'm just like, oh, to get her to notice that something's not right. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I just found out that they did the fireworks yesterday. And she's just like, what? They changed the fireworks thing? And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, okay, well, we just need to find another place to go to do the fireworks. And she was so like calm. She didn't have any type of like teen meltdown or anything. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. And she's like, so let's just find another place. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I go back online and start looking again, and I ended up finding another place that was significantly farther, but it was okay. Like, we still had time to get there, and we ended up going. Okay, so a couple things came up. The event started at 7:15. It was about 7:18 when we realized that this was the event that we were going to have to go to. It was just like, Then we're 33 minutes away. Then it was, oh crap, I haven't made the sandwiches yet. Give me 5 minutes. But the thing that was really amazing for me is that I usually would be in a complete and utter panic, but I wasn't. I was just like, just give me 5 minutes. And I really thought that I was taking longer. Like, I did have that inner panic, critical voice, like, oh my God, this is taking so long. You're going to be so late. Like this, like trying to rush me. But I was managing to stay calm. And I was just like, I'm moving as fast as I can. We need to bring sandwiches because I'm not going out there to spend money. We're going to have a nice picnic out there. I have beverages. I've got chips and things, like I'm not about to, we're not stopping at a restaurant. We're going to eat these sandwiches that that I'm making. So I stopped and I went ahead and I made, 3 sandwiches for us or whatever. And they were delicious, by the way. Three chicken sandwiches with Havarti cheese and spicy mayo on French bread, French rolls, and then of course, like, I seasoned it with garlic and Italian seasoning, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't do like, I don't half-ass it. If I'm gonna make a sandwich, I'm gonna make a sandwich. But anyway, so I quickly made those sandwiches, I wrapped them up, and then I had like packed all these things in the freezer, like little ices and things like that, which were really cool. Like, they're like in a squeeze bag. I had to go get all of that stuff and gather everything. And basically, like, I posted my podcast, like, we were supposed to leave at 7, and I was like posting my podcast at 7:05-ish. So it was just like, I was just doing everything down to the wire and just rushing around, but I didn't stress myself out. And I'm like calming that inner voice, and instead of like listening to that voice that was like, you're taking too long to make the sandwiches, I looked at the clock and it was 7:35. And I started the sandwiches at 7:30. So it's just like, oh, I'm actually doing okay. I'm still on track. And it was just like that, just in the moment, to not listen to that voice that's just like chattering away and telling me to worry, to just like, do I need to be worried? Let me look at the clock. Oh, actually, you're just talking for no reason. I only took the 5 minutes that I said it was going to take. And I'm wrapping the sandwiches up right now. And I was able to like just keep going. And it was just like moments like that. Like her friend deciding to come meant that I needed to borrow my father's car because my car I don't trust to drive long distances most of the time. At least I won't do it with other people's kids in the car. Like it'll probably make it. But, you know, like my car has like electrical taping up the driver's side window. One of the 4 doors cannot unlock at all. 2 of the other doors have the handles have broken off due to the Chicago winters that are like ridiculously cold. Well, one broke off that way and one broke off from like someone super strong. And you know, and like when I turned my air conditioning on, which I'm very excited about, I actually shared that on the podcast that I got the air conditioning fixed in a sense. Like I put Freon in. And when the car is idling, like if I'm at a light and I have the air conditioning on, the car starts to like shake real bad, like it's gonna stop. And I've had enough cars shut off at stoplights for that to be anxiety inducing, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I was just like, okay. So like inner panicker is like, oh no, he wants to ride with her. That means you have to use your father's car. Oh my God, you've got to ask him. And it's just like always like this like Chicken Little, the sky is falling type next level unnecessary energy. But I was calm. So instead of listening to that voice, I decided to think opposite, like I talked about on yesterday's podcast. And I said, well, okay, well, if I need to use his car, then I need to just go ask him to use the car. It's just that simple. Like instead of like sitting there thinking about it and oh my God, and you know, let me just go ask him. So I go ask him. I'm like, can I use your car? Bringing the neighbor with us. Is that cool? And he's just like, okay, you know, like my dad is like the coolest person on earth. So he's like, you know, go ahead. And it was like everything was so easy. The things that I usually worry and like freak out about, like I didn't do that today. I thought opposite and allowed myself to experience the ease of just doing the things instead of like putting all that extra worry energy out there. So then we get everything packed up, you know, he, you know, comes down the block, we all hop in the car, and usually I would be getting nervous, like, oh my God, I've got to drive my dad's car. It's like a gigantic car because he has like the ultimate like preacher vehicle, and it is huge. It's like driving a boat. But you know, it allows the kids to sit in the back, and then I get to be in the front by myself, and they can enjoy like hanging out and making TikTok videos and all that kind of stuff. And and he has like air conditioning that works like an air conditioner is supposed to. It doesn't like make the car shut down. So we had like so much fun. They're playing their own music. They like brought their speaker along, and they're like playing music through their iPhones. And you know, like I'm, you know, in the front using my Android for GPS and just listening to them enjoy themselves. And I'm just like so at peace. The drive, there was like no traffic until we got very close. And then we realized that the traffic was due to the fact that so many people wanted to attend the fireworks at this place that there was no parking. So we're all like circling trying to find parking. And instead of totally, like, I was very much like, let's just go sit in a parking lot. We could see fine from there. Because I'm just starting to get negative, you know, like as far as being able to get what we actually wanted. I was just like, we can get good enough. Good enough is fine. And the kids are like, no, we drove all the way out here. We're going to the actual spot. And I'm just like, well, we have to put the car somewhere. And they're just like, well, we can go where the police officer told us we could go over there. And you know, we go over there and then realize like the police officer sent us like way too far to walk. So then we saw, like, as we were on the way there, we saw a parking lot where it was just way too many cars for everyone to be shopping for furniture after the sunset. So we realized that people decided to just park in this parking lot for like a store, and there were so many people there, no one was ticketing them. So we were like, okay, we're parking here then. So we found a parking space in there, and we walk over, and it's just like droves of people. So like as we're walking, okay, we're 3 minutes away from the fireworks display, and the fireworks display was starting in 3 minutes. So of course, as I'm walking past, we're walking past so many people who are sitting on the grass on the path on this 3-minute path to the park where the fireworks are. All these people have like just put their blankets down, they've put their lawn chairs out, and they're just sitting in the grass along this path. So I'm like, why? Look at this space over here. We could just get a spot right there. And the kids are like, no, we are gonna walk to the actual display. We want to see the fireworks up close. And I'm just like, but that's so unnecessary. By the time at the pace we're walking, we won't even make it on time. And I'm like being so negative. But the kids are like, we'll be fine. We're gonna get there. Everything's gonna be great. And I'm just like, I mean, okay. So then I like start to get on the path. I keep walking, and then I'm like looking at the GPS, and the GPS is like telling me, like we've walked for 2 or 3 minutes, and the GPS is like, you're 3 minutes away. I'm like, we're walking so slow that the GPS is not even changing, but we're going to miss it. So I'm looking at the time, and I'm just like, oh my God, they're starting in like a minute, and we're going to be walking, we're going to miss it. And they're just like, we'll be fine, we're going to keep walking. And they're like rolling their eyes at me, and I'm just like, okay. But I was very committed to letting them have their fun. If they wanted to walk, I will walk, no problem. But I was going to keep petitioning for us to just pop a squat and watch from the side of the road. They never gave up. So we keep walking, and eventually I realized that the fireworks that we had been seeing on the way were not the fireworks that we were on our way to. These were just people doing fireworks in their backyard. And right as we got to the corner before the big fireworks display, I can hear them over like a loudspeaker doing a countdown to start the show. And I'm like, oh my God, we didn't miss it. So we finally like cross the street, and we keep walking, and then we start seeing the big fireworks, and we're just like, oh my God. And then we crossed through like this little path, and it was like wide open, and there was a like really beautiful grassy area, like a huge grassy area, barely anyone over there. And we had the perfect view of the fireworks, and we didn't even go all the way into the park. We were on the outskirts of the where all the people were, but we had like an amazing view from where we were. So we like laid out our picnic blanket and the sandwiches, and we're in the cooler, and we have our drinks, and we like just had so much fun laughing and doing videos and TikToks and all kinds of stuff while enjoying the fireworks. And I just kept telling them, I'm so glad you all didn't listen to me, that you were so committed to what you wanted and weren't listening to me being like, yeah, well, we don't need to go that far. Like I was like, we're having the best time, and I'm so grateful. And what I realized, and kind of the point of this story, is that they stayed committed to what they wanted. Even during the fireworks, like me and her friend were being a little negative because we saw like a whole lot of fireworks when we first got there. And we're like, oh God, please don't let that be the finale. And she's like, would you all stop putting all that negativity out here? It's not the finale. And we're like, oh, okay, sorry. No, it's not the finale. And then more fireworks. And then there were more fireworks. And then they did another. And then we were like, oh no, I hope that's not the finale. And she's like, would you all cut it out? It's not the finale. And then we're like, oh yeah. Sorry. No, it's not the finale. And then it's more fireworks. And then I just started thinking like, yeah, I want more fireworks. This would be great. And then like they did like a couple more songs, and it was just like, we really got to see like the actual show. Like it did not start at the time that we thought it was going to start. And so even though we more or less like showed up 10 minutes late, they started on our time. time pretty much. And, like even combating all the the traffic and the finding a parking space and having to walk the distance, we still got to have an amazing time. And we really had like fun just bonding and enjoying, and he loved my sandwich. My daughter didn't eat hers, but that's okay because she was too busy recording the fireworks. But the sandwich was quite delicious. Anyway, so so the whole point that I noticed is just like how often we block ourselves from our own opportunities because we start getting negative, because if it was up to me, we wouldn't have had the great view. We would have seen fireworks, but we wouldn't have had the amazing time that we did because I was being kind of negative. Like I had done most of the day, I had made it through like positivity, everything's going to work out. We'll work through it. But it was the kids and their optimism and their constant, no, we're going to stick with it. No, we're going to follow through. No, and it was them, like they're the ones who helped me to actually get to enjoy the real experience that I wanted, because I love fireworks. I mean, love fireworks. So I got to have this awesome, amazing experience hanging out with two teens who were so fun. And like the whole ride was fun. Like they're playing their music, they're dancing, they're like, recording videos, they're laughing. We're all laughing. It was just a beautiful experience altogether. And their positivity allowed us to all have this amazing experience. So for today, our 5th day of my Let's Try July challenge, where I'm challenging you to try something new in terms of personal growth. So what I recognized in this experience is how much fun we would have boxed ourselves out of if we had given in to all the opportunities to be negative and assume the worst. Like if I had stopped at crap, they're not doing they already did the fireworks display. I'm so sorry. Tell him that he can't come with us and that we're not doing anything today. Like it could have ended there, but it didn't. There were multiple opportunities to assume things weren't going to work out and to do less than what we actually wanted. But when it all came down to it, we did what we wanted to do. Everything worked out. And it was really about persevering in those moments when it looked like it wasn't going to work out. So my opportunity for you today, and for myself, because, I was learning from the kids, is let's try being optimistic and continuing on the path when things start to look like maybe that's not going to work out, to still hold the possibility of, well, what if it does work out? Like if you can leave 2% or 20%, to say like, well, it's possible, the possibility that what you want or greater, can happen. Because the fireworks display that we were going to go to was inferior to the one that we saw. It's possible that something that I don't see right now could happen here. It's possible that there's an opportunity that I don't even know about. It's possible that things can work out in a way that I couldn't even anticipate. It's possible that, that there's another option that I haven't considered. It's possible for this to work out, but just in a different way, to not pull the plug early because we think that things aren't going to go our way, but to leave room for hope. Like I always say leave 2% room, like even if you can't go 100%. So I hope you enjoyed that story and that you gained so much from it. I gained so much from that experience and learned so much about the power of remaining optimistic. This is Marlene, Dillon, Empowerment Specialist. Have an amazing whatever time of day it is for you. Blessings. To learn more about me, Marlene Dillon, Empowerment Specialist, please visit mdillondesigns.com. There you can find more podcast episodes. You can read my inspirational blog. You can check out my online store of personalized gifts featuring the characters from my empowering children's book, I'm Proud to Be Natural Me. You can find parenting resources, including my online communication course, Healing Our Families, Healing the Parent-Child Relationship. Please follow and share if you found